You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't realize
that. He was awful.
That. Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Not Melinda French Gates finally confirming that Bill Gates caught an STD from a Russian hooker on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Apparently, he then tried to secretly give her antibiotics without telling her what they were for. And don't even get me started on how Epstein allegedly used this as blackmail material against one of the richest men in the world. Word on the street is this bombshell just dropped in the 2026 Epstein files, and it explains why Melinda walked away from a 27-year marriage and a $29 billion fortune. Listen, there is a lot to unpack here, so grab a chair and let's get into it. Okay, so the Epstein files just dropped on January 30th, and the internet has been losing their minds. The Department of Justice released over 3 million pages as part of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and honey, people have been digging through them like detectives on a mission. Now, when Bill Gates' name started trending, people weren't exactly shocked because we all knew he had connections to Epstein. But girl, nobody was prepared for what they found. Buried in those files was a draft email from July 18, 2013. Where Epstein literally wrote to himself about Bill Gates catching an STD from Russian girls. Mind you, this wasn't some random gossip or hearsay. This was Epstein documenting it in his own words. The email claimed that Gates allegedly asked Epstein to delete certain emails and even requested antibiotics so he could secretly dose Melinda without her knowing what they were for. And of course, as soon as this went viral, Gates immediately denied everything. Now, of course, Bill Gates immediately went into damage control mode. But honey, the receipts were already out there for the world to see. On February 4th, he did an interview with 9 News Australia and said the allegations were completely false. He also said, and I quote, "I regret every minute I spent with him." But here's the thing that's got people suspicious. If you regret every minute you spent with Epstein, then why did you keep meeting with him between 2011 and 2013? Mind you, these weren't one-time accidental encounters. Gates had multiple dinners with Epstein, and his excuse was that he was trying to discuss philanthropy. Girl, please. You're telling me the only person who could help you with philanthropy was a convicted sex offender? The math ain't mathing, and people are dragging him online for thinking we're all stupid enough to believe that excuse. But wait, because Melinda had a lot to say about all this. And baby, she was not holding back. On February 3rd, just days after the files dropped, Melinda sat down for an interview with NPR's Wildcard podcast. When they asked her about the Epstein files mentioning Bill, you could literally hear the pain in her voice. She said she felt unbelievable sadness and that the files brought back painful times in my marriage. Then she dropped the real bombshell. She said, "I had to leave my marriage." Not, "we grew apart," or "we had differences." She said she had to leave. Mind you, this woman stayed with Bill for 27 years, raised 3 kids with him, and built a multi-billion-dollar foundation together. But she also made it very clear that Bill has to answer to those things, not me. Translation: she's done protecting him, and he needs to deal with the consequences of his own actions. And honestly, can you blame her? Now, the thing Melinda revealed was that this wasn't the first red flag. She knew something was off about Epstein from the very beginning. So what happened was, back in 2011, when Gates first started meeting with Epstein, Melinda was uncomfortable right from the start. She didn't like it, and she made that very clear to him. But of course, Gates kept meeting with him anyway. Then in 2013, Melinda actually met Epstein in person for the first and only time. And y'all, she said she found him abhorrent. That's a strong word. She didn't say he was weird or unpleasant. She said abhorrent. This was after Epstein had already been convicted in 2008 for soliciting prostitution from a minor. So Melinda knew exactly who this man was, and she still had to watch her husband continue associating with him. Gates allegedly cut ties with Epstein shortly after that 2013 meeting, but by then the damage was already done. As if that wasn't bad enough, the email reveals even more disturbing details about what allegedly went down. So, what happened was, Epstein drafted this email to himself on July 18, 2013. And in it, he claimed that Gates had asked him to delete certain emails between them. Why would you need to delete emails if you were just talking about philanthropy? Girl, make it make sense. But it gets worse. The email also said that Gates allegedly asked Epstein to help him get antibiotics. Now here's where it gets really nasty. According to the email, Gates wanted these antibiotics so he could secretly give them to Melinda, without telling her they were for treating an STD he allegedly caught from Russian girls. Mind you, Epstein specifically mentioned Russian girls in this email, which suggests these weren't just random encounters. And the fact that Epstein documented all of this, that screams blackmail. He was clearly keeping receipts so he could have leverage over one of the most powerful men in the world. Oh, honey, it doesn't stop there. Because word on the street is these Russian girls were part of Epstein's massive honey trap operation, allegedly tied to Russian intelligence. According to reports from the Daily Mail and research by author Craig Unger, Epstein was allegedly running what some are calling the world's largest honey trap. So basically, he would allegedly use Russian women to compromise powerful men, and then use that information for blackmail or leverage. Mind you, this theory isn't completely far-fetched when you consider that Ghislaine Maxwell's family allegedly had ties to intelligence agencies. And there are even emails from people like Joy Ito mentioning connections to Putin. So if this is true, Gates wasn't just caught cheating. He was potentially caught in an international blackmail scheme designed to control the world's elite. And Epstein had all the proof he needed to destroy Gates's reputation and marriage whenever he wanted. Now, aside from all these messy revelations, the internet had thoughts. And baby, they were brutal. Posts about Gates and the STD allegations were getting millions of views on X. One post by @Robbie Starbuck got 8.9 million views. Another by @NickSorter got over 80,000 likes. A lot of people were genuinely disgusted and saying they've completely lost trust in him. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Bill Gates allegedly catching an STD from Russian hookers on Epstein's island? And do you really think Melinda finally left him because of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.